We all know that homelessness is a problem. We all know it's a huge problem on the West Coast particularly, but sitting down and having a beautiful meal with someone that you develop a relationship with, it builds community and it helps create a relationship. It helps you realize that homelessness isn't a problem to be solved, these are persons to be loved. And it helps open our hearts. It creates community rather than creating this us versus them situation.
We had started our church back in 2001. Then I heard years later that you guys had started the Nomadic shelter, and I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be great to partake of that, to work alongside of them, but we didn't have a place. Fast forward, God did an incredible miracle, and we moved our church here to Windsor on the town green. And my first thought was, now we have a place. Once we put the word out there, hey, do you guys want to help the homeless and get involved in this ministry? This beautiful team of people from our fellowship just crowded in and said, let's do this.
We first heard about Nomadic Shelter from Redwood Gospel Mission, that they were starting it. There weren't any churches doing it here, so we went over to the Sacramento area, a group of us, to observe 3 different churches who did it, and they all did it differently, and we walked away going, we can do this. I just thought it was a super cool thing that we were going to invite the homeless into our house, and we were going to feed them, and then we were going to house them. It far exceeded my expectations, and I think the expectations of all of the volunteers in our church as a whole.
Before Nomadic Shelter started, we had a kind of a bottleneck at the Rose and also at the men's facility, an emergency shelter. We also had a very cold winter that year, and we knew we needed to do something. It was just a matter of time before the entire city ran out of space, ran out of beds. Nomadic Shelter was an obvious choice. Once we saw what other cities were doing in Fairfield and El Dorado County and Michigan, we knew that this was the answer to not only providing beds during the winter, but also providing that hospitality that they deserve, to make it into something that can be a ministry in which the churches can take ownership in. Entertaining Angels is exactly what we set out to accomplish, even more than we thought in the beginning. The numbers of churches, thousands and thousands of volunteers catering and just loving and acknowledging the existence of these men, women, and children.
I was expecting it to be tense, to be honest. And what it was beautiful. It was wonderful. The guests were kind, thankful.
It was just such a blessing to me personally and to all the people who volunteered that I could hardly wait until we were going to do it again so that I could encourage more people in our congregation to volunteer and be a part so that they could be blessed too.
After the first night, it was just lovely to see. It was lovely to see the way that it just sort of took on a life of its own. There was so much authenticity in the way that we all came together and shared a meal. That's what food does, you know, it brings everyone together.
The first night I was in the Nomadic Shelter, I got off the bus and I seen people standing at the door and they had smiles, and so it was like a breath of fresh air, you know. And people were smiling and I said, oh, I could do this. And I could just feel the love and the warmth from the, you know, even from the van. You know, when you first see it, it was great. I felt safe because, you know, there were people of God there and it made us feel at ease. It was great. You were in the Nomadic Shelter, you're in God's house, you know, and so how can you not feel secure?
It was like, here, come into my home. You know, it's my home, it's your home. And, you know, and for them to have people sit there and to greet us and to stay with us at the churches and to be a part of us was very welcoming and it was warm feeling. They made us feel like family. Anything that we needed and we asked for, if they could provide for it, they gave it to us. I mean, they walked in, they gave us hugs, they gave us name tags so they get to know our names. You know, we're on a first name basis. And that made us feel so welcome that was there.
When I got to go into Nomadic, I got to experience a little more personal attention. The people that were there helping us were really interested in us. They were asking questions about us and how did we get there and who we were. And they were telling us about themselves and, you know, why they were in service. And that was a big deal. It's that connection, I think. I mean, it's still life-changing just to be able to be in a shelter and not be on the street. Don't get me wrong, but Nomadic, it's another level of caring, I would say.
Radical hospitality for me is not just going through the motions or getting the meal prepped, or but really engaging with the community. We have people who serve and cook, but we also have people who just come and hang out. And they sit and they talk with each other and they talk with the guests, and we're invested in it. We want to find out who you are. And that is more than just surface. We go deep every time with the guests that come in here. We invest in them.
Beauty is really important to us as a faith, as a church, because it's an expression of God's love and joy. And so the guests have talked about the beauty of the flowers in the bathroom, the beauty of the hall, the beauty of the sanctuary, the beauty of the meal. And I think beauty creates its own atmosphere and allows people to relax.
Also, I've been blessed with getting to know one guest in particular, and he and I have started off at the Nomadic Shelter Ministry the first time in April when we came, and we got together and I started helping him, and it's altered my life. It's hugely altered my life.
Every person there I met had a great impact on me. Nancy is one of the great ladies. My goodness, she's a mighty woman of God. Yes, and I really appreciate her. I got new glasses. I got a bank account. I haven't had a bank account in over 20-something years. I haven't had an ID in over 30-something years, And she helped me do those things and helped me get my Social Security. She takes me to my doctor's appointments.
I started finding people that really wanted to help me that I didn't know existed before. I didn't know that these great people were available to me and just wanted to help and be there. It's a miracle. My wife also went into the New Life program. We were both in Nomadic and the shelters, and we both ended up into the New Life program. She's in the man home and I'm here.
Because of the Nomadic shelter, I have a home-based church. I have my sobriety, a place to call home, and I have good health.
I mean, I just keep thinking about radical hospitality. It's a lovely, lovely phrase, and it is how God treats us. None of us deserve that. I don't deserve it. No one deserves it. The only logical thing that we can do with that love is try and share it.
Just if one person in the community could take on one more person, our community would change. Really, it would be amazing.